Let's bring you some breaking
news. Saka reportedly concerned by Arsenal's uncertain summer saga. Arsenal star Bukayo Saka is reportedly growing increasingly concerned about the club's lack of clarity and movement in the early weeks of the summer transfer window. As one of the key figures in Mikel Arteta's squad, Saka has been instrumental in the club's rise to the top echelon of English football in recent seasons. However, the apparent stalling in plans to strengthen the team is said to be unsettling for the young winger, who harbors ambitions of competing for the biggest honours. Following a campaign where Arsenal once again pushed Manchester City all the way in the Premier League title race, there was an expectation that the club would move swiftly in the market to address obvious gaps in the squad. Yet weeks into the summer window, Arsenal's business has remained frustratingly quiet. For a player like Saka, who has consistently delivered at the highest level, this raises concerns about whether the club is matching his ambition. Reports close to the club suggest that Saka, along with several other senior players, is seeking reassurances from the Arsenal hierarchy regarding transfer plans. While public messaging from the club has been one of confidence and patience, behind the scenes, the lack of concrete moves has prompted internal unease. For a squad that feels it is on the verge of greatness, the margin for error this summer is razor thin. Saka, 23, has grown into a symbol of Arsenal's revival under Arteta, and his development has mirrored the club's trajectory. However, sources say that he is wary of stagnation, particularly with rivals like Manchester City, Liverpool, and even Chelsea expected to spend aggressively. Without proper reinforcements, there is a risk Arsenal could fall behind in what promises to be a fiercely competitive 2025-26 campaign. Key areas needing attention include a top-class central midfielder to partner Declan Rice, a prolific striker to ease the goal-scoring burden on Saka and Martinelli, and defensive depth following recent injury troubles. Fans and players alike expected that groundwork for these reinforcements would have been laid early. Instead, the club appears entangled in protracted negotiations and budgetary constraints. Saka's concerns are not believed to be driven by personal motives or any desire to leave the club. On the contrary, he is said to be fully committed to Arsenal's project. But like any top professional, he wants to ensure that the team is equipped to compete on all fronts, especially with another demanding Champions League campaign on the horizon. There is also a wider issue of player morale. While Saka remains professional and focused, senior squad members look to players like him to gauge the mood and direction of the club. If one of Arsenal's most loyal and level-headed stars is starting to raise questions, it could reflect a more widespread unease in the dressing room. The Arsenal board, led by EDU and CEO Vinny Venkatesham, must now act decisively to reassure their players and supporters alike. Transparency in communication, swift transfer action, and a clear sporting vision are essential to quell growing anxiety. The longer the uncertainty drags on, the more difficult it becomes to rally the squad ahead of pre-season. There's also the international angle to consider. With Saka currently on duty with England for the European Championship, distractions from club issues are less than ideal. Mental clarity is crucial for elite athletes performing at the highest level, and off-field uncertainty can creep into performances if left unchecked. For now, Saka remains publicly silent on the issue, and Arsenal continues to insist that plans are progressing behind the scenes. But the pressure is mounting. The clock is ticking, and both fans and players are waiting for tangible proof that the club's ambition matches its rhetoric. If Arsenal is serious about sustaining its title challenge and keeping elite talents like Saka satisfied, this summer cannot be a missed opportunity. The message from Saka's camp is not one of threat, but of urgency, and the ball is firmly in the club's court.